going to introduce Alan. We're delighted to have you here this morning, Alan. Thank you so much. Alan is a partner in Alan Lyons, a business psychologist. He's going to bring you through an awful lot more on this than I can ever do, and I really, really encourage you to challenge Alan, get behind this, really understand it, and I hope you take value from it. So thank you very much. Great. Alan Lyons.
It's a be yourself more with skill, and what this means is it's not trying to create a new, different you. It's trying to tap into what works for you so you can do more of it and be authentic. Anything that's about creating a new, different you, how to look good, win friends, smile in the mirror, all that stuff, if you haven't tapped into what works for you, your values, you've skipped a major component, and it's unlikely to work for you. So it's not about trying to become something else, it's tapping into what works for you so you can do more of it. So traditionally in psychology, we always looked at IQ and personality. So psychologists would measure your IQ and they measure your personality. Now it's interesting because your intellectual horsepower, your IQ results will stay the same from when you're 60, 67. So your intellectual horsepower does not change from the age of 60 to 67. And also your personality, now there's debate in this, but generally speaking, it would only change by about a percentage over your lifetime. Now you might argue, well, if I'm changing a behavior, surely I'm changing personality. But generally speaking, it stays relatively stable. Not much shifting, at least in terms of how we know how to measure it. Now the EQ space, which is huge, it's very much developmental. Everything we're going to look at today, anybody can get better at. It's a set of skills. It used to be seen as just that person who has a way with people, charismatic, engaged, connect, they know themselves. Yes, it is, but it's also not an X factor thing. Anybody can develop these skills. So that's why in Facebook, I use them as an example, the engineers, they have them, but it's not as if they go, oh my God, we got the wrong people. They've developed a program called Spark, which is developing their emotional intelligence, seeing huge benefits of it. So anybody can get better at it. And it's a framework. Any ideas why it increases as you get older? Maturity. Yeah, you're learning skills, coping mechanisms. Because most people, if you ask them, when were you happiest? They'll always go, oh God, when I was 17, 18, hadn't a care in the world. You're projecting, if I could go back now, I'd nail it. But when you were 17, 18, you're thinking, I missed the bus, she didn't call me back, my life is over. You know? That's what it is, isn't it? But where by now you're thinking, I couldn't care less to go for a bite. You know, but you didn't think that then. You know? And people get stuck, we project. We actually also get happier as we get older. You get more content, which is nice to know. But emotional intelligence in the sporting world is just mental toughness. And if you think most elite athletes really, and I know there's a lot of elite athletes in this organization, they're about 19 to 23, a lot of them. But a lot of them don't have the mental toughness, the EQ. So they're trying to, a lot of sports psychology, it's about accelerating that learning at a younger age. But it will naturally develop also. It's all about changing yourself. You can't actually, this was a big learning for me when I first got involved in psychology. It's impossible to change somebody else. You actually can't do it. It's actually impossible. Most people spend their whole lives trying to change other people. People get married on the premise, sure, I'll change them in a couple of years. Nothing, and it's impossible. And that's, well, we love it because we get couple counselling out of it, but there's nothing that can happen, yeah? Yeah. But it's actually impossible. You drive yourself demented trying to change other people. Now, there's a caveat to that, and it goes back to the Gandhi, be the change you want to see. If somebody's in front of me and I'm coaching them and I ask them what would be a good use of their time, and if it's all about other people changing, well, then the wrong person's in the room. Can't change other people, can only change ourselves. So even people, you know, who feel they might be a victim of bullying or whatever, we can't actually change that other person's behavior by directly going after them, but by changing our own responses and how we choose to engage, we can elicit different responses. So that's Gandhi's quote, be the change you want to see, and that's exactly what that's getting at.